Hey, I always cut the top of my head off. So this week I finished Dead Astronauts, and I got it because the title was sick, and also because while I just launched right into that, I had a lot of coffee today. but I had been on TikTok and someone was just, I don't even remember what it was about, but they were in like a really cool space, like a nicely decorated room. They looked like someone I would want to hang out with, and they were reading Annihilate by VanderMeer, and I was like, well, that looks cool. I want to read that. They didn't say anything about it. I just thought the cover and the title looked awesome. But when I looked it up, it's in a series, and I didn't want to start another series because I'm still working on the Expanse series. So I tried to find a standalone title by Jeff, and I found Dead Astronauts, and it wasn't until I finished it that I saw book 2 in parentheses when I went to add it to my Goodreads account. That was not at the library. Like, there was no indication on my Libby app that it was in a series. And looking back, there were some things where I felt like I had just been kind of thrown into the world and maybe some context was missing, and that could be because it was a book 2, but it felt like it was on purpose. Like, to me, the way the book read, it felt like that was just the writing style. Like when you're watching a movie and they just throw you right into what's happening. And I liked that, so I didn't find it off-putting at all. I really liked, actually, that the book started in what felt like the middle of the main 3 characters' stories, and then there were like callbacks to other characters that they had encountered, as if we all were familiar, like the reader was familiar with these characters, but I wasn't. And again, I don't know if that's because I hadn't read Born, which it looks like is supposed to preface this, but I thought it was fine, like, because I still got to know that character through the actions and narrations and the different points of view. So by the time I was well into the book, I had a full understanding of like the dynamics and their origins. Oh, it was actually so cool getting to know the characters that way. Like, it brings you in. It's almost like if you woke up and you were hanging out with a group of people and you didn't remember who they were, but they knew who you were, and they were just talking with you as if you had been part of their lives for years. Like, that's how the book felt. And then, aside from being, like the title suggests, a kind of dark sci-fi, it was also like what felt like a really great commentary on humanity and the way we treat the planet and our interpretation of what's alive and what counts as life, and also what it would be like to travel through space for such a long amount of time. And especially like when you think about how time gets distorted when you're really far away relative to Earth time. So like what it's like to leave feeling like you're from one time period and then knowing that all of that is gone, and where you are now is like no one would understand it that you know, and you have to like sort of build a new identity and a new life. Like, I think there were probably 4 main characters. It's hard to say because there are some characters who I think may have actually been other characters. But it was just so cool following them. There were characters I thought were one way, and then it grows into them being a different way. There are characters you think you know their story, and then you hear it from a different point of view, and you're like, mind blown. That is not what I saw coming. I'm stippling a truck right now. Oh my gosh. Yeah, it was just the coolest. I really, really liked it. I also really liked the characters. Like, I think I mentioned before that it had kind of a... Did I mention this? That it has like a sci-fi and a fantasy kind of element, in that some of the characters aren't human, but it feels like... I mean, I guess it's not a spoiler. There are like talking animals, and at some points you're like, is this a metaphor or is this literally a fox? And I mean, I could be totally missing it. This book was so strange that sometimes I really gave up on understanding But I liked that about it. Like, I didn't feel frustrated or overwhelmed with it. I just felt like, okay, I'm accepting that I don't really know what's happening right now, and it will unfold itself later for me. But yeah, there were like fantastical creatures. I actually, for the first time in my life, like when I finished the book, I was like, okay, I have my takeaway, but I'm not sure if I'm right. So I actually looked up, like, what is this book about? And I found that my takeaway was pretty much, it seems at least common, if not intended, that like it is supposed to be a bit ambiguous and, you know, strange and mysterious. Like, there wasn't something huge that I missed, but it was described as like a post-climate world, which was a term I'd never heard before, but was definitely accurate. And a lot of the themes that I took away were also talked about in different people's summaries and takeaways. So, you know, things about human relationship to the environment, human relationship to space travel, human relationships to each other, like to animals, all that stuff. And then how all of those things impact the cultures of like centuries from now. And that was really interesting. There was also a lot of discussion about multiple I keep forgetting to draw because I talk with my hands so much, but there was a lot of like plot using multiple timelines and maybe like multiverse theories, which just, I think I said this before, it seems like it's such a theme in the media I'm consuming lately, but I'm really liking it. Like, what does it mean? I don't know, but yeah, I really enjoyed the book. I will definitely have to go back and read the first one and then see if I need to reread Dead Astronauts again. Reread again, that's redundant. Or if it will just add, I'm kind of looking forward to doing that because I think it will add some context. I have a feeling that there are characters who had existing dynamics that didn't get fully fleshed out in this book that may be more of the focus in the first one. Maybe if you've read it, you can tell me, but I really enjoyed this writing style. I am so looking forward to reading more by this author. Yeah, I loved it. It was really cool. That's it.